In this video, I'll show you how to use the quadratic formula to find the roots. The question reads, find the roots of the following equation. And the equation that we have is x squared plus 4x plus 7 over 2 is equal to 0. The first thing that we have to do is define our a, b, and c values. Your a value is always the coefficient that is in front of the x squared term. So the number in front of the x squared term serves as your a. And in our case, it's 1 because there's actually a 1 there, but it's not written. We assume that you already know it's a 1. Our b value is the coefficient in front of the x term. In that case, it's 4. And our c value is the constant. And our constant is 7 over 2. That is the term that doesn't have a variable next to it. 7 over 2 or 3.5. It's the same thing. The quadratic formula is shown below. So what we'll do next is fill in these values with what we just found. So x is equal to negative b, and in our case, our b value is 4. So we have minus 4 plus minus, that's that part right there, the square root of b squared. So we have 4 to the power of 2 minus 4 times a. And notice how I've placed the number 1 in brackets, because that shows 4 is being multiplied to it. And c is 3.5. 3.5. And this is all over 2 times a. So we have 2 times 1. Notice the brackets again. Now this part of the quadratic formula actually has a name. It's called the discriminant, and it tells us some important information. That information is shown below, where if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, you end up with only one real root. If it's greater than 0, you get 2 real roots. And if it's less than 0, you get no real roots. So just keep that in mind. Now let's find out what our discriminant is. 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 1 times 3.5. That is equal to minus 14. And you can confirm that with your calculator. So we have minus 4 plus minus this part over 2, and that will give us our roots. 16 minus 14 is 2. So instead of writing 16 minus 14, we can just write 2. And the next important thing about the quadratic formula is this plus and minus. This tells us that we will end up with 2 possibilities. One where our root is minus 4 plus the square root of 2 all over 2, and another possibility where we have negative 4 minus, notice the difference, the square root of 2 over 2. Some teachers will actually prefer that you keep the roots as shown. Others will want you to evaluate this, find a number for it. So let's go ahead and do that. Negative 4 plus the square root of 2 divided by 2 gives us negative 1.29. Negative 1.29. And that's our first root. And our second root is negative 4 minus square root of 2 divided by 2. And we end up with minus 2.70. Minus 2.70 or 1. What I did is I rounded that last number upwards. These represent the 2 roots for this quadratic equation, and that is how to use the quadratic formula to find the roots. Make sure to watch question 2 for another example.